Yeah.
I was like, wait, I know. Oh, wait, I'm so confused right now.
All
I
right.
also found out.
We
Going
be
live.
live.
We are live.
We be live.
We be live. We be live. We be live.
Says babies are taught to be racist or anti-racist. There is no neutrality. Another portion of the book, they recommend to babies confess when being racist. Now, this is a book that is taught at Georgetown Day School to students in pre-K through second grade, so 4 through 7 years old. Do you agree with this book that is being taught with kids that babies are racist?
Senator, I do not believe that any child should be made to feel as though they are racist or though they are not valued or though they are less than, that they are victims, that they are oppressors. I don't believe in any of that. But what I will say is that when you asked me whether or not this was taught in schools, critical race theory, my understanding is that critical race theory as an academic theory is taught in law schools. And to the extent that you were asking the question, I understood you to be addressing public schools. Georgetown Day School, just like the religious school that Justice Barrett was on the board of, is a private school.
Okay, so you agree critical race theory is taught at Georgetown Day School?
I don't know, because the board is not, the board does not control the curriculum. The board does not focus on that. That's not what we do as board members. So I'm actually not sure.
You described in a speech to a law school what you were doing as critical race theory. And so I guess I would ask, what did you mean by that when you gave that speech?
With respect, Senator, the quote that you are mentioning there was about sentencing policy.
Did it relate to alcohol?
I like
You haven't
beer.
answered that.
I like beer. I don't know if you do.
Okay.
You like beer, Senator?
Is that not accurate?
Respectfully, Senator, it was not my argument.
You're saying there's never been a case where you drank so much that you didn't remember what happened the night before or part of what happened.
You're asking about, blackout. I don't know. Have you?
I have received so many notes and letters and photos from little girls around the country who tell me that they are so excited for this opportunity and that they have thought about the law in new ways.
This whole 2-week effort has been a calculated and orchestrated political hit. Revenge on behalf of the Clintons.
He's on the Supreme Court. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's.
As President Biden nominates Judge Jackson, a black woman, to the Supreme Court, people like Mike Brown complain. How about we put people in jobs because they are the most qualified? Let's address this. How many people know that of the 115 people confirmed to the Supreme Court, 40 of them were never a judge before being put on the Supreme Court? 18 of them never completed law school, and 47 of them never even attended law school. Meanwhile, Judge Jackson went to Harvard Law School, was the editor of the Harvard Law Review, was a judge for 9 years, and was a public defender. Oh, and she had 3 federal clerkships, including 1 clerkship on the Supreme Court. And it's amazing that while dozens of the 108 white men on Supreme Court didn't even have a law degree, nobody asks about their qualifications, nobody questions their rulings or their judgments. But one black woman since 1789 has the potential of being confirmed, and suddenly people are worried about qualifications. The problem isn't that Judge Jackson isn't qualified. She is. The problem is the people who spend all their time claiming they don't see color suddenly do.
And keeping along the lines of harassment.
You gotta put Lindsey up in there.
Lindsey Graham.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's something else.
Yeah, I had a Lindsay, but shit.
That's okay.
So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how faithful would you say you are in terms of religion?
Well, Senator, I am reluctant to talk about my faith in this way just because I want to be mindful of the need for the public to have confidence in my ability to separate out my personal views.
Good for you.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how faithful are you? Really? That's the criteria to get onto.
They should be asking him that. His wife should be asking him that.
All right, let's
No,
get
they
it.
meant as far as religion, but yeah.
Get it. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. What's up? What's up, everybody? Yeah, Pam, Kevin, how's everybody doing?
Excellent.
Good, man.
Doing good.
All right. All right. Man, we already got comments already.
Hey.
Welcome, welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. The Black Comics, as I had to edit our name because people were moving on to bigger and better things. So I figured, what the hell, just call us the Black Comics. No need to. The next flyer would be the Black Comics, and you know, if it's just me or just Pam or just Tanya, well, then I have to change it to Black Comic, I guess. Thanks to everyone. So please, if you're watching us on YouTube, please like, share, and please hit that notification button so you know when we go live. And tell all your friends and your family, your enemies, tell everyone about our show because we always bring it every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're going to tackle a few topics today. The very first one, as you saw in the videos, Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson. She's being nominated to be on the Supreme Court. And many of us feel that she's being grilled harder than any other one have. A lot of people on the Republican side thinks that it's not fair that she's being put on the Supreme Court just because she's black, which Joe Biden said he was going to nominate a black woman. But she is a black woman that is qualified. How many white men and women, or people that are just white, have been nominated, put in positions that they are absolutely not qualified for? Bazillions. How many of us have worked with, have a white manager, a white CEO, and you know more than he does about the company he's running? How many of us have been in that position? Many of us. So this argument, in my opinion, I don't know if it's anybody else shared his opinion because we all have different views. I see nothing wrong with nominating the first black woman to the Supreme Court. Like Joe Biden said, the Supreme Court should reflect our society. Now, how can you have a Supreme Court that doesn't reflect our society if there's no black women on the Supreme Court? So Tanya, I'm going to start with you. What were your thoughts? Because you were texting me about, you were watching the hearings and it seemed like they were going after her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were really going in, and even so far to bring up past, I guess, pedophile conviction cases, and saying that, you weren't too easy on them, and they're in the sentencing. But I got to give her credit; she gave brilliant answer in an aspect that. So she told what the truth is. Her job is to go by what the law is, not necessarily what she really thinks. You know what I'm saying? They try to make it seem like she's doing what she wants versus this is what the law says. This is I can only do A and B, and that's it. So I thought she gave good answers. Of course, I'm always, when I hear the word convicted sex offender, of course I get freaked out. So I'm always like, what was that sentence? And I do know they get less time than anybody for anything. I don't understand that part, but that's not necessarily her. That's probably the court versus, whoever, initially made the judgment or whatever. So it's different, but I don't know. I like her, and we'll see what happens. I always have to keep my eye up for everybody and anybody these days, because I just never know, and we never know. But they are really on her, and I do think it's only because A, she's a woman, and B, she's a most importantly, because she's a Black woman. That's the only reason why, and that's what ticks me off and say, really? Because all the other people that are in office, I'm sure we could find quite a few things. Like, why are you asking about pedophiles in a judgment when you got people on your seat there who were actually accused of rape, and they're still fine? So it's like a lot of contradictions. And it's one thing if it's just, okay, around the board, if Pam and, Kevin, and we all say the same thing across the board, that this is the rules and then we're going to stick by them, no problem. But when you start changing the rules, because now we're in the game, which is what's happening. And I feel that, that happens a lot to African Americans. As soon as we get in the game, the rules change. College, what happened? You have to take SATs. You got to take this, and it's got to be this, and it's got to be that. You know why they do that? Come on, So she's qualified. She went to Harvard. Like, now all of a sudden Harvard's not good enough for us? What happened? What happened? I'm sorry. I thought Harvard was really good. So you wanted her to go to Cornell instead? I'm confused. So that's all. It's a lot of buffoonery going on, because the bottom line is they can't stand the fact that she's probably overqualified, if anything.
Yeah. So. I mean, I'm gonna. You said as soon as we get in the game, they do change the rules. I'm gonna divert just a little bit because and Pam would know this. In the Caribbean, we play cricket. It's a game that was big in England, created in English, and they have what you guys would call pitchers. We call bowlers. So their bowlers could bowl at like a top speed of like say 50 miles per hour. So here come the Black people from the Caribbean, and we started clocking over 100 miles per hour. So the rules, there was no rules of how to bowl, how to pitch the ball so that people would understand. Mm-hmm. And you can pitch it chest height, you can pitch it below the knee, it didn't matter. But we were bowling so fast, the ball was coming so fast at the white opponents. Mm-hmm. They made a rule: the ball cannot go above like your chest. That rule specifically came up because we were just too fast. So just to your point, I know they do change the rules once we enter the game. And
now that we got it up to the chest, what? They changed it
yet? Right. So they do change the rules. Pam, I'm gonna go to you. Katania Brown Jackson is married to a white man. A lot of Black people have issues with that. You don't have to address it. I'm just putting it out there. I don't know why that's an issue. I don't know.
What'd you say?
They kept.
So I'll address it when you get to me.
You'll address it. Okay. So have you watched it? I don't know. What do you think of how they're going? How deep is her faith? How on a scale of 1 to 10? What is that? It seems like he was reaching.
Yeah, he was reaching.
So I'm not addressing the whole interracial nonsense. Yes. But what I'll say is this: I did not get to watch it yesterday. However, I put my earbuds in today, and as I was working, I was listening and glimpsing at the hearings, and I got to see for the greater part of it. And what's interesting about her is the fact that she had been confirmed by a lot of these same senators who are now trying to make it seem as though it's so outrageous and she shouldn't be in there, and trying to challenge the record that they had seen some years prior. She's steady. That was the word that I kept coming up with when I was watching her composure. She is steady. And a couple of times you could tell where she was ready to go, let me get my Vaseline, because I'm ready to throw down. Mm-hmm. But even in that, I saw it, and I guess we understand it, but with it, she is a judge. She really kept herself composed. I think anyone any of the Supreme Court nominees have been grilled mercilessly. So I'm not gonna say, well, they're only doing it to her, this and that. What I'll say is, again, because they had already confirmed her, they are trying their best to come up with something, because clearly they liked her before. So there's something, they're and that's why they're digging deep, and that's why they're picking up the pedophilia cases, as opposed to, like she said, I think she's over 100 and some odd, whatever the amount of cases before her, and they picked out 7, and those were the pedophile cases. And like Tanya, probably like most of us, anytime we hear anything that's an abuse of children, you become hyper vigilant about it. And it was uncomfortable for me because I felt as though it was salacious. The mere fact that they're using pedophiles, it gives everybody the heebie-jeebies. And the fact that she did, in a couple of times, give them lower sentences than the guidelines. She also explained how she is a teacher. She broke it down why it is that we do this. If the laws in the Senate, like she said, if I go by the laws that are put before me by you, so therefore, how can you blame me for following your rules? I think she was very composed. She was very articulate. She was able to combat a lot of their nonsense, a lot of their misquoting. She was like, well, wait a minute. I think there was one, I forget what she said. She said, but wait a minute, if you go 2 sentences down, you'll see that I was not agreeing with that. I was just laying out the case or something like that. So, they're always going to try to find something to justify their bad behavior. Yeah, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're not going to give it to her easily. And if, hopefully we'll have the votes to put her through, because really they have no justification, but they try their best.
Yeah, they're probably trying to make her the angry Black woman like they did.
Like, they're not getting that out of her.
How they treated Michelle Obama. They wanted,
Michelle will give you that side eye, put that eyebrow up, and
nonsense. That's what that was.
But with her, Ketanji, she, as much as they poked at her with that pedophilia, her record on that, if she didn't break then, and when that stupid ass Ted Cruz started with his ignorance,
man who leaves his people
between him and Lindsey Graham, that crap, God bless her, because I would have been ready to take my shoes off and throw it at both of them. But she held her own. And, and when you talk about her credentials, the fact of the matter is that she has better credentials than most of the people that are on that court.
Yep, 3
and just to be clear, you do not have to be, as I think one of the clips you said, you do not have to be a lawyer in order to be a Supreme Court justice.
I didn't know. Wow, that's new.
You do not.
What?
You do not have to have a law degree. You do not have to. No, you can be Joe Schmo off the street. Huh?
Yeah. You can just make TikTok, and your doc be making TikToks, and you could be on the Supreme Court.
Look, Kim Kardashian might be the next nominee for rape if that Trump gets back in.
All right, Kev. We're gonna jump over to Kev, and I asked about her having a white husband. I don't know. I think we did a show recently where one of the people we were talking about, one of the Black men, had a white wife, and one of our YouTubers was saying that he's being influenced. TW is on here tonight. TW from YouTube. We're gonna read your comments, brother. Just hold on. But I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I think it might have been TW that said that something about one of the people that had a white wife.
Yeah. I think actually was referencing the same Ketanji Jackson. They were saying that that's why people were objecting to her, because they felt as though he could influence her decisions on.
Didn't we go to this rabbit hole,
which is silly
before though? With didn't we go down this rabbit hole with the vice president?
Yeah, her. Yeah.
it's the same thing. It's just an excuse to not like a black woman in the story.
Try to belittle her, right? Bring her
Yeah.
down.
Every black
That's it.
have to, I mean, especially black women have to jump through hoops that even men don't have to jump through.
Mhm.
Well, the rules is made by them for them.
Is so qualified, overqualified, as you said, Pam,
Mm.
for this position. And we are watching basically on national television, white supremacy at its best with no hoods on. They just take like, hey, we're just gonna be white supremacy, whether you like it or not. I mean, that's what we're watching.
Mhm.
Can't even sugarcoat it.
Yep.
This
Yeah, these old
all
white
person
men.
in color, it's not about who she's married to. She have a black husband. She'd be getting the same questions,
Yep.
and the same ridicule that she's getting from Lindsey Graham and these clowns. These same clowns that voted against kicking Trump out of office. You know,
Yeah, and they hang out with people like Epstein. What are you worried about pedophiles for? I'm sorry.
same people that that voted to keep Trump in office when he was brought up, you know, on charges to be kicked out of office.
Impeached. Mhm.
Impeached, thank you. My brain was locked. Yeah, impeached.
It's okay.
Twice these same people, they're sitting here, all of a sudden they care about the law and they care about things when
And virtue.
they did nothing but cover
Yeah.
crooked ass Donald Trump for 4 years. They covered for him.
Yeah. Even when a cop was killed at the insurrection, they still covered.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Shoot up police. What happened?
Yeah, that's right. And black people, and I know, Pamela, what you said about not addressing nonsense, but it is nonsense, and it's coming from our people. You know, this whole interracial thing has to stop. You know, we can't just say somebody's not black because they got a white mate.
Exactly. Good for you.
know.
That's right.
And that's what's happening. Kamala Harris is a prosecutor, so she's not for black people. You know,
Right.
she's the white man, so she's not for black people.
Well, that's another story, but we won't. I'm not comparing her to Judge Brown.
But you would think that after, well, I know this, I'm probably dreaming here, but you would think that after the Republic, after they have seen what black people have been through, that they would be happy to have a black person. I mean, after they see what black people have been through in this country, you would think that they would support, you know what I mean, having a black person.
Why? We're not even supposed to be.
I know. I'm just dreaming.
As Jay-Z said, we ain't supposed to be here.
Yeah.
No, as Tupac said,
right.
It's set up. We're not, you know, I mean, we're supposed to be at this level of president, vice president. I mean, Joe Biden don't wake up in the morning, there's a black woman sitting in the Oval Office on the 24th of March. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened in this country. It's just not. And so what we're witnessing is white power seeing their power sort of disappear a little bit, you know, by seeing a black woman as a judge. Because when one black woman gets as a judge, there'll be another one, and then maybe a Hispanic, Spanish.
Wait a minute. You know who should be the next? Well, Native American.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, it's their freaking country. It's their land.
Yeah.
Well, there were black Indians too, so we got.
Because how many? I mean, yeah.
Okay, but my point is, if you want to make it diverse and you want to make it represent the country.
Well.
Pam, can I ask you a question?
Well, what?
Pam, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Reparations.
I can hear you.
Did you leave your house today?
Yeah.
Carl, did you leave your house today?
Yes, I did.
Tanya, did you leave your house today?
Yeah.
Okay, and I left my house today. Did anybody see any American Indians in the grocery stores or in the car?
Native Americans?
Yeah, Native Americans. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't know.
Anybody see any Native Americans in their travels today?
No.
I don't know.
Likely not.
Probably not. There's a high possibility not.
I've been in the last 9 days of my life, I've been in like 4 different states. I haven't seen not one Native
Would
American.
you know, wait a minute, but would you know if that person was a Native American?
Yes, I would, but
Because they don't walk around with, with leather outfits and
we know that.
feathers in
That's
their
like
hair.
They
saying
have distinct features if they're.
I was in my audience last Saturday night, Pam.
Huh?
Of course, if a Native American was in my presence,
You would know?
Yes, the features. Your features are very.
Wait, sorry, I'm trying to hear what Kev said. What? Would you know?
I'm saying, of course, I would know if a Native American was in my presence. How would I
How
not?
would you know?
How would I not know? I've been around Native Americans before in my life.
Exactly, and
Yeah, but they don't all look the same. And from what I've seen of them, that they're very interchangeable with any number of Hispanics.
Full-blooded Native Americans. You can tell.
Okay, so all right, I'll reframe my question. Maybe one was at a red light next to me then, Pam.
No, I'm just saying, I mean, it's hard to know.
I'm being honest, sister. You know, I'm be harsh. You know damn well that the chances are any four of us on this panel running past a group of Native Americans over the last 3 months of our life.
I've seen some in the last 3 months, but that's specific.
I'm just saying
depends on where we're at. That's first of all, because some places.
I don't know what you guys do in your private time, but I travel all over this country every other weekend, as you probably know, guys. And a matter of fact, I'm leaving at 5 a.m. in the morning to travel again. So every week I'm on the road. Maybe at the I'll run into a Native American at the mall this weekend or something, or
depends on where you go.
You
go to Arizona, you might find more.
I don't know. I'm just saying. I can tell you that I've seen Asian people. I've definitely seen white people. I've definitely seen black people. I don't know if I've seen any Native now Asian people I've seen. I don't know if the Asian people I've seen was Japanese or Korean or Chinese. I can't tell you that, but I've seen Asian people in my presence over the last.
Okay, so Kevin, your point really is because they're such a small percentage of the country, it is not really imperative for them to have representation on the Supreme Court.
No, they need to have it. I'm just saying.
Oh.
So I'm not saying they shouldn't be represented. Of course, I'm down for that.
Oh, okay.
But I know I'm just saying, it's as Chris Rock said in one of his jokes, you can pull up on YouTube, it's actually pretty funny. He goes, when the last time you went to a Red Lobster, sit down and looked over and seen a Native American family eating some lobster? It doesn't happen in this country. I mean, their genocide against him has been so freaking tragically.
It was successful.
Successful, yes. That we don't see them every day, and every week, and every month. Too
because they've managed to push them off. Yeah, to those little reservations.
Probably parts of the country, certain parts of this country, you would find them living in. I know they run towns and cities out in Arizona, but
there are a couple of villages in Jersey too.
Yeah,
that's a hard push.
Arizona, there's tons of them. Depends on where you go. And
it's a hard push. I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, there's many African Americans that are walking around every day in this country. Look at what we're going through right now. Can you imagine a Native American being vice president or being one of the most popular senators in the world, or in this country? Or
actually, there is somebody in some kind of office. I forgot her name. A woman.
Yes, there's a woman.
Talk about Tanya. Yes, and I think she's out of Arizona. I think she represents some part of Arizona.
Is that where it's at? Yeah,
I believe so. Yes, I know you're talking about. Yeah. But I'm. Man, it's just bad, man. I mean, this is supposed to be a proud moment for the country, to see.
And it will be
an accomplished person. Well, we're still paying for the nomination of Barack Obama. We're still paying for that, Pam. We're still getting beat over the head because of that 8 years in the White House. Not that he was failure for 8 years. Some people may think he is, but the fact that he was even there.
Yeah.
Whether bad or good, the fact that he was there for 8 years is the reason Lindsey Graham has the attitude that he has right now. The reason Josh Hawley has the attitude he has right now. The reason there was a Donald Trump living at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue for 4 years. and the list goes on, is because of Barack Obama existed.
Yeah.
And that's why these people have this bold ass attitude right now that gloves are off. Yes, we are taking up for the white man, and that's just the way it's going to be, whether y'all like it or not. And we're witnessing it on national television.
TW from YouTube, what's up, brother? He says, I want progressive liberal judges on the court that understand the needs of Black people. The color of the judge is not as important as their views on justice.
Exactly. There it is. Boom. There it is. Drop the mic.
Well, tell that to Clarence. Yeah, you're right, because we got Clarence Thomas on the who doesn't give a rat's ass about Black people on the court. Now, I don't think that this lady is that's she's not even in the same stratosphere as a Clarence Thomas.
Yeah. Well, he said TW also says there was no backlash for Judge Clarence Thomas because he supports white supremacy.
Exactly. And there it is. Boom. Drop the mic.
And in so many words, yes, of course, there's no backlash. Any Black person that
do
supports
what we say, we'll
white
help you out.
supremacy, Tim Scott, for example, this fool can mess around and be president or vice president because he supports white supremacy. You think Tim Scott will he'll be whoever runs for president? If they say, Tim Scott, you want to be the vice president, they'll vote for him. All these white supremacists will vote for him because he tells them what they want to hear. They'll support him. You know. And he's a single man, but if he marries a white woman, he might be president.
TW, he says Mike dropped. He dropped.
Mike dropped. That's me. Mike dropped.
He said Mike dropped.
Boom. There it is.
Marissa Mancini, right? What's up, Marissa? I don't know if this is gonna be a popular comment, but I'll read it anyway. It has nothing to do with what Kamala being Black. Kamala, sorry. It has nothing to do with Kamala being Black. Has anyone heard her talk on national TV? It's a disgrace. I don't, you want to elaborate on that, Marissa? I know Marissa is a Trump supporter, by the way.
Right.
Okay, so let me ask real quickly. Let me say this. She has twice as much education
than any of them.
Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Have you heard Donald Trump speak?
Yeah, have you heard Donald Trump speak, yo man?
Trump's speech, Trump's diction, Trump's spelling, Trump paid.
He can't
talk like a 5-year-old. Okay, that's what he does. Okay,
he paid his college professors money for good grades because he didn't go to school, so he paid for his grades. You know, the same way he paid the doctor to say he had bone spurs, so he wouldn't have to go serve in the military. I mean, so for somebody to say that, because that goes back to my point again. As a Black person, we have to be perfect all the way across the board. You got you know Kamala Harris. Have you heard her talk? So her talk's not perfect.
Heard her talk.
She's not qualified.
What's wrong with the way she speaks?
Well, I mean, maybe the voice is annoying. That may be a thing, but it does not have nothing to do with her being whatever. It
has nothing to do with her intellect.
Yeah, it would
her
have
abilities.
Exactly. And so to say that, oh no, it's not her color, it's how she speaks. That you just killed the argument with that one. But
yeah, I've heard
your opinion. Thank you for sharing.
People, she talks with her nasal voice. People making fun of her voice and stuff like that. The bottom line, guess what? If she had Candace Owens' views, they would love her. They would give a shit about her nasal voice. Or if she had Tim Scott's views, they wouldn't care. Or Judge Thomas's views, they wouldn't care what her voice sounds like. What they do care about is that she doesn't support white supremacy.
Yeah.
Another mic drop. Bam.
Donna, what's up, Donna? Donna Hagan says Kamala can't be a bigger disgrace than Trump is. Well, Donna, if you're saying that to a Trump supporter, they would beg to differ. Because
I mean, I respect everybody's opinion, but for that argument, I can't do that.
Yeah, I don't see how.
Especially with her education level. Now, even if you would have said her voice annoys me, I would say I get you on that. I get you, but not credentials. We're not going there on credentials.
Did Obama's voice ignore? I mean,
I loved his voice. Are you kidding? He was a sexy man.
did his
Don't
voice
even go there.
No, I'm just curious because they didn't like his voice either. And
they didn't like the way his voice pattern, his speech patterns.
Oh, you were saying it's
because they make fun of it. It's unusual.
Yeah, well, it's called being smart and giving people time to digest what you just said. That's what I call it.
Yes,
Don't
that's
let
what.
Yeah, they can't.
And actually, going back to Ketanji, I find her, and somebody actually said it. She's a law nerd, you know, like she is fully entrenched in her profession, in the laws of the land, and you know, and I think that's why she's so steady, because you can't come for her. And when they talked about how she did like 80 page briefs when other people may have only done 10, I think probably that was part of her process of really understanding what it is she's doing and why she's doing it. And that's why she can come back at them and say, no, that's not it. You need to continue on reading to hear what it is that what I said. You can't just take little blurts here and there and expect to come for me. We're not doing that.
No, she's
brilliant. And what I appreciate from the Democrats is that when those attacks came, the next person who came on said, okay, so we're going to clear up this nonsense that y'all were just going on about. And they went down the line, and it was very methodical. You know, and you know, they kept, and then Lindsey Graham had the nerve to start, you know, all this whole spewing about, oh, look how unfair it was when Kavanaugh was up. Like, who the hell cares about Kavanaugh anymore? You guys got what you wanted. He's up there. And it was a totally different situation. He was being accused of a crime. She's not.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so it's just a circus. They needed to get up there and try to ruffle and to bring some divisiveness, and that's what they're doing. I don't think they're. I pray that they're not going to be successful.
I don't think they're going to be successful.
No.
I hope very tragic.
Did Clarence get out of the hospital yet?
No, he's still in the hospital.
Yeah. Oh. It's so. I'm sorry, because I don't want to wish anyone death. However, when I saw on my phone this afternoon, when I saw on the phone this afternoon, I saw breaking news and I saw somebody had died. I was like, oh, and then I found out it was Madeleine Albright. I'm like, oh.
Rest in peace.
I mean, with all that being said, and I think I titled, when I put the title up for our show on YouTube, you guys think Black people will ever be respected? I mean, like, it doesn't seem like there's, I mean, something I know we've talked about separate, like Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X, and, you know, have talked about, you know, give us our own, we know it's never going to happen. Give us our own land so we can go out and thing.
Yeah, we can't use those people.
Lives amongst these racist white people, it's just not working. It's like there's nothing we can do. I mean, it's just day after day after day. We just fight every day. We get up. It's a fight. It's every day. It's a fight.
But
when do the non-racist people say, "Okay, we've had enough of this"? Well, I guess they did when they.
We need more of them, though.
Yeah. Because that's like the bad police officers that go, well, we're not all bad. Well,
yeah,
maybe you're not all bad, but you allow bad to exist. You know, I guess, you know, like, you know that this cop that was on the force for 20 years was bad, and then he killed George Floyd. But you know he's bad before he murdered George Floyd, and you allow him to exist.
It's an allowance, yeah.
So, I mean, there are lots of white people that have racist friends. You know,
look, there's a lot of Black people.
My girl told me her parents were racist. Well, my parents are racist, you know. So, I mean,
I think there are a lot of Black people who have good friends who are white, and they know that those same good friends have a lot of racist tendencies, and they don't call them on it.
Yes, that I've seen a lot, and that's why it perpetuates.
That's a problem.
Like, well, when we get to the next topic, that'll be a good one to talk about. Very good. The boy with the cotton.
Yeah.
Well, you know, go ahead, Pam. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, as far as the respect aspect is, you know, I would not be, I don't think that we should ever measure how much respect we get based off of celebrities of any sort, be it athletes, entertainment, whatever. It's how people individually, the ordinary person running around, how they're respected, because they're the ones who really deal with the brunt of all these negative things of or stereotypes and discriminatory stuff, more so than the person who has some kind of fame and notoriety. And honestly, I think it'll probably take maybe at least another 100 years for us to even get to the point where non-Black people look at us and are not, and those stereotypes don't come rushing into their head.
Well, my thing is this. Here's my thing. Why do I care? That's my thing. That's my attitude. I don't care what you think about me, whether you're Black or white. It doesn't matter which color you are. I don't care what you think about me. It's what I think about myself and how I present myself for me, and my kids. That's it. I don't really care anymore, because
but that's all well and good. But the reality of it is that we are living in a world that have these other people that we have to interact with and we have to have dealings with. Unless you go on your little private island.
Right. No, that doesn't mean you
can
live with anybody. I can live with anybody, but I mean, this is a good thing.
Yeah, but a lot of them, their prejudices determine, if you get to rent an apartment or if you get to get a loan and things like that. So you have to care to some degree.
I care, but not to that degree right now. As maybe when I'm looking for a car tomorrow or a house or a new, then I'll be like, darn Pam, where you at? You're right. So you're right. I know. I totally get it, and it does affect me. But also, you can lose your mind following or waiting for them to like you or someone to like you. You can just go totally bonkers where where you're getting a lot of people who are depressed, who are suicidal, because they probably add that into the factor and like, I just can't deal with all this. So for me, the way I deal with it is, did they just ignore me? Okay. So now I don't ever speak to you again. You know what I'm saying? Or if it's a job, well, I'm glad I didn't get that job because look at that behavior. I don't want to work with them. So that's how I take everything now. I don't care if it's not a thing, if it's not, as long as I can eat, I don't really care. I don't want your approval. I'm not asking for it. I'm not, I got to go and get this. I don't care. I could care less, because the bottom line is, if someone's a good person, you're a good person. If you're not, you're not, period. I don't want to be around you if you're not a good person anyway. So.
All right. Gina made a comment earlier. She said 500 million genocide. That's how many Indians were killed by the whites. 500 million genocide whites devastated the population, and high percentages live on reservations in certain parts of the country. What, 500 million, Gina?
Yeah, 500 million. How about that?
I have to look that up, Gina.
That's
a lot. That's more than anything. That's more than
what else is 500 million? Maybe over the period, over the 400 years or whatever. I don't think it's that high, but it's a high number.
Shout out to Information Man for checking in. What's up, brother? Thank you.
Hey.
What's up? Thank you for checking in. Everyone, please check out the Information Man show. He has an excellent show. All of us Black content creators on these channels, we need to start supporting each other. So please check out the Information Man show. We're going to switch gears here a little. And I ask you guys this question, and I'm going to ask the people watching this question. Do you have any white friends that are allowed to do Black jokes or tell you Black jokes or slavery jokes? Or do you have any of those? And we all have close white friends, very close white friends. I have some very, very close white friends. I can't think of one that would think it was okay to tell me a slavery joke or a Black joke.
Nope. As soon as you get it out your mouth, pop.
That's the difference between America and the Caribbean. In America, you can get beat up for saying stuff. In the Caribbean, you can't touch somebody for saying stuff. We have a thing where we can say anything as long as I don't touch you. You can't touch me. But that doesn't translate to America.
Well, I was semi joking. I mean, when I was younger, yeah, I probably would have popped you.
No, but not just you. I mean, in general, like people. I mean,
It's not worth it.
I heard somebody say, "Keep my name out your mouth," and the person didn't, and then I heard "pop."
Pop. That's it. You like my friend Pop? Goes the weasel. That's
Keep
how it
my
goes.
name out. Keep
You
my
can say
name
what
out your mouth. And then it was
Say what you
pop.
want, just hold your mouth.
Yeah. So but I get it because we didn't go through what Black Americans had to go through. Man, if I was born here, I'd probably be dead. This to be
That's what I said. If I was born before 1960, it would be a problem.
yeah.
Everybody'd be like,
Anyway, we're gonna switch gears here a little. There's a video circulating where I'll let you guys watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
You can see here a white student walks up behind a black student at lunch, throws a handful of cotton balls onto the table, and begins to slap him with a belt. Then the black student pushes. This all happened at Vanderbilt Catholic High School in Houma Wednesday afternoon. PJ Ulrich is a Vanderbilt alumnus and coached the student who was hit with the belt. He's also friends with the child's family.
We can't push this off and make this more skeletons in the closet.
The young man is one of few non-white students at the school.
Oh shit.
So the black
Sometimes you got to beat that ass.
oh, okay, I ain't saying it.
What planet is that? You know what I mean? Like, what
First
is this?
of all-
Go ahead, Tanya.
Yeah, first of all, that is totally home training. Somebody at home is talking about them Negroes. Somebody at home, I believe, or the group that he's hanging with is talking about that, and it's just because you saw the other kids, they did even worse. They had swastikas on and AKAs. You didn't see that picture of the kid, the young, like 15-year-olds. I was like, what is going on with America? What is this? Somewhere in the Midwest of school. It was a big thing. But that's home training. Their parents must have told them, like, hey, let's walk around with swastikas on our hand and AK-47. This is our country. It's like, first of all, you don't even make no sense because you got the swastika on. How is it your country? I'm confused. They confuse me all the time. But that right there, that's clearly his influence.
He threw the cotton, then he pointed at it and said something, and then he started whipping him with the belt.
I'm sorry.
But when I look at that, he looks as though he's in some kind of a drug-induced haze. Because he didn't even like come up. It wasn't like it was just this kind of.
No, Pam, he's probably on medication.
No, he was just.
He's probably on medication.
Well, whatever it is, they need to up it or take him off because he didn't. It was just so weird.
They probably paid him to do it. They paid him because another school this happened at where they paid the people to buy slaves. Like I would say, oh, we're going to.
Well, there was an auction.
Auction, whatever you call it.
Can we stop putting black kids in mostly schools where they're like the only black student? Yeah. Can we stop that? Like, how does that happen in this day and age? What day living in that you go to a school where you're 3 black people out of 1,700?
Because they wouldn't be special.
Unfortunately,
that shouldn't happen. You got to be in a diverse society.
Yes.
Because if you live around other people, you're not going to, do that. If you're in a school with, 2,500 people, for example, and
our school,
1,500 of them are African Americans.
You want to know how that happens is because we are separate and not equal.
Right.
Well, let's see. A lot of parents not work because a lot of times a parent wants to give their child the better education, the more well-rounded education academically, and therefore they don't put them in the public school in their area or whatever, and they put them in a Catholic school or some kind of a private school, and who's paying that kind of money? So that's how that happens.
It's going to be probably scarred for a long time.
I would never do that to my son.
It depends. No. It depends on how well he beat his ass. Because if he gave him a good ass whooping, I think that's therapy enough. He's gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I just think it's traumatizing because now he's going to be labeled as the aggressor, right?
He was suspended. The kid was suspended. He was sent home. The black kid was sent home.
The black.
And what about the white kid?
Because and let me tell you something. By the way, the white kid walked over to the black kid, and as someone who's worked in schools before and been in many lunchrooms, I can tell you that was a setup. Someone group of other Caucasian kids told him, if you go over there and do that,
yeah, and they'll film it. They filmed it,
and they gassed him up. Oh, right. How do we get the footage? I mean, clear. So
how would they know that was going to happen? How would they know?
Yeah. Now
I want to know if the kid was suspended as well.
Well, I hope so.
Because there's supposed to be zero tolerance.
I would be suing the school. Straight up suing the school. I would sue them. They wouldn't even know. I'd own it when I finish with them because that's just
how in 2022 you could think that's okay. I don't care. Why would you even think that was that? I mean, that's like a guy walking up to a woman just grabbing her boobs or something.
Right. It's just
what can I say? I hate. Okay, I'm gonna say something, and I hate saying it because to me it's kind of prejudicial, if that's the word. White folks do some stupid shit. And they do it with the innocence of a child, and they're like, it's like, really? Look, when my son was in junior high, it was coming down to the end of the school year. Everybody was out on the open, not the playground, but the open field or whatever. And I think they had their yearbooks and they were signing it or whatever. And there was this white kid who decided to fill his baseball cap up with water and throw it at people. My son knew the kid. My son told him, do not throw that water at me. He threw the water at him and left. And when he left, my son ran after him from behind, grabbed him by his neck and brought him down, because what I did not know at the time, that kid was a good foot over my son. Of course, a teacher or whoever saw the tackle and took him in, and the resource person, and it was a whole big thing. And I come in there. But I'll tell you what, I have a coworker who is Italian. Oh, yeah, she's Italian and something else. She's white. And when I told her I had to leave because I had to go to the school, she said, and this is something we need to think about, how we present ourselves and how we present our cases. Immediately she said, oh, but your son was attacked. I said, what are you talking about? He was attacked. He wasn't attacked. It was just a little. She's like, no, Pam, you go in there and you tell them that he was attacked and he was defending himself because that kid came after him with a cap of water. Now I'm just thinking, okay, well, it's just some water. He threw it. And she's like, oh no, that's not the way you present that.
Exactly, because it could have been anything.
It certainly could have, but I was not going in there initially with that in my mind. I was just like, okay, kids horse playing around. She's like, oh no, because as soon as they bring the resource officer, which is the policeman for the school, now, because initially the father, when he got the call, they said to him, your son, and this was a Black resource officer, told him, well, his son was choked. So now he want to press charges.
And that's because he didn't set up the other way. You got to set it up.
When he saw how small my son was in comparison to, because his son was tall and lanky. When he saw that, I know he was like, well, damn. But thankfully, when I went in and everything, and I got it cleared up, there was no charges or whatever. But I said, if you're going to suspend my son, then you need to suspend that boy too, because not only did he attack my son, he was attacking everybody else on that playground.
All right, let me show you that kid growing up.
You talking to my wife right now? That's your wife? Walk away. Walk away. Check it out. You do walk away, or I'm going to carry your ass out of here. What do you want to do?
You better not touch me.
Or what? What are you going to do?
You up on me.
Let's go. Walk away.
I didn't do anything.
I'm about to do something to you. You better start walking.
I didn't do anything to her.
You better start walking right now.
You come after me like that?
I ain't coming after you. You're in the wrong neighborhood, motherfucker. Get out. Get out. Where? Where's your house? What's your address?
Maybe we should walk you home.
Walk me home.
Well, you bet. You want to bet what I can do?
I live here, sir.
Okay,
Right
what's
now,
your
you're
address?
harassing the neighborhood.
I'm not harassing anyone walking through the neighborhood I live in, sir.
Where? But check it out. We are a tight-knit community.
Okay.
We
How
take
long
care
have
of
you
each
been
other.
here? How long have you
Hell of a
been
lot
living-
longer than your ass, because I
How long
have
have you
never
been
seen
living-
you before in my
How long
life.
have you been living?
Do you know what happened afterwards?
What?
We got the
Everybody came out, and there was a mob in front of that man's house.
Oh, they defended
They
him?
fixed his ass good.
No, thank you, God, because
Yes.
that's just you know
That
part-
happened a year or two ago.
No, I think that's the different one you're talking about, Pam. That's not what you're talking about. The one where the guy said, "Bring it, bring everyone."
right.
I don't
No,
care.
no, this one.
Came out, yeah.
This one.
Good,
That-
thank God.
Yeah, that one came out before that one. Yeah,
So sad. That poor kid. You know the trauma that puts in that boy's head.
that's
the trauma?
scary.
That's just crazy. I
We
had someone tell me, and they
But
tried
you
to
heard the code. You heard the code switching, right? We're a tight knit community.
we look out for each other. What do you mean?
We look
So
out
what?
for each other.
Yeah, you so tight. Why didn't you know I moved here? It's crazy. I had someone tell him I was walking my dog and my friend who's a nurse. She's an RN. She's from Haiti, but she's been here forever. But she's a nurse, an RN. Okay, and so we were walking our dogs down the street, and I've been here for 50 years. So this lady tells her, and look, I went to go and do something with my dog, so I wasn't right there direct. But she literally tells her to, she calls it an N-word and says, you shouldn't be over here. You should go back to your country or something. She said they're out. She didn't even speak, so I don't even know how she knew she was not born here. But I said to her, I said, wait, let's get this right. I've been here 50 years and I don't remember ever seeing you. So who are you and where do you come from? Because you just came here. So you need to go back to wherever you came from, And she was like, oh, I've been here. She said something like 15 years. I said, girl, please, I've been here 50 years. And I could tell you, let's go talk to the judge or whoever we want to talk to, because you just came. So how are you going to tell us to go back?
Did you hear the lady say, "Let's walk you home," like he's a dog? Like,
yeah, exactly. Let's walk you home. What?
Yeah.
But that's the first thing they always try to do. Well, where do you live? None of your damn business where I live.
Answer to them.
Right. Exactly. There it is. Why? Why do we have to answer to anybody?
Let's check out
Do you think white people in this country, and I'm talking about non-segregationists, people devoid or thinking they're devoid of racism, do you have any idea of what they want the Negro to be in America?
Well, it depends on the level that we are talking here, because I think you have to make a distinction between the people who are genuinely and absolutely committed in the white community on the question of racial equality. And I must confess that I think they're in a very small minority. I think the vast majority of white Americans will go but so far. It's a kind of installment plan for equality, and they are always looking for an excuse to go but so far.
That's it.
Yeah,
The installment plan. We're on the layaway plan, y'all.
Layaway plan. I got $5.99.
But that's not the Martin Luther King that always put up, they always show.
No, that's not.
We know why he was,
It's what fits in the narrative that they want.
Yeah, that's
they always show us the Martin Luther King information man. You jumped in and
what happened?
I don't know what happened. I don't know if he got kicked out or I don't know. Come back on, brother. I put the link in the chat. Anyone that wants to jump on, just I'll put the link in the chat again.
Yeah, that's just crazy. The Karen in the men and women just is ridiculous. It's like, who died and left you in charge of everything? First of all. Second of all, if we all bought a house, why are you worried about what I'm doing? And then more importantly, if you didn't believe it, why don't you take yourself out of the situation and you go down to the off of the records or whatever it is and see, is there somebody new that moved on our block? I mean, it's so simple. Why would you bother that kid and harass him?
Well, he
And
just
why isn't he charged if that kid is a minor? Why isn't he charged for harassing the kid?
Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was some kind of a charge come with, I would need to research it.
I think he was charged with something.
Yeah.
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 I remember that case very
that's
well.
the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. And people,
Well, you know, it's all that whole testosterone pumping your chest up, you know, this is my town, you know.
That's always
But he was charged with something, but then kind of the same incident happened to Trayvon Martin.
yes. And that's what I was gonna say. So
Fourth Amendment wasn't charged, and he murdered this kid because
Right.
there were cameras there to show us what really happened. That's
The
why.
witness, yeah.
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 night.
Mike Brown, there was no cameras there. You know, that's what happened.
I didn't know. Well, I'll go, but that's another topic, but that's okay. There's a lot to that case that I didn't know about.
What case?
Trayvon, that his father was a cop, a retired cop or something.
Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, it was a retired. What did he do? He was retired in one
sheriff or something.
Yeah, I don't have my thing on to look.
Okay, TW has a question for the panel. If someone calls you the N-word, do you already know how you would respond?
Mm-hmm.
We are in a war and must know in advance the most constructive way to respond. How would you respond to the N-word?
Sorry.
I don't know how I would respond because it's never happened to me, thankfully. But
Really?
knowing how you're gonna, I don't know if you can truly know. You can say, "Oh yeah, I know I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that," but you, unless it has ever happened to you and you feel the brunt of it, and depending on the circumstance in which you're being called it, I don't know if anyone knows for sure what they're gonna do.
Well, I've been called the
I know for sure what I'm going to do.
I've been called the N-word several times.
I've been called it.
You call the N-word to your face, like with
Yes, and
N-word over the phone by a booker.
What?
Yeah.
Over the phone?
Call.
What?
Yeah, you may know the booker. He's no longer in the industry, so I'll mention his name.
Yeah.
Steve Bix. You ever heard of him?
Yes, yes. I almost did a gig for him in Pennsylvania.
He called me the N-word over the phone. And I at the time, I mean, it's like 15 years ago. So 15 years ago, I was a different cat. You know, I was kind of you know, a little younger. When you're a little younger, you think a little different. So I didn't threaten, break his face when I see him, but I wouldn't have done that. It was just me, If somebody calls me now, it depends. And I was on stage in Newport News, Virginia, and I had Richard Pryor on my shirt. And a guy in the audience, he was drunk, and he says, "Who's that nigger on your shirt?" Yeah.
Oh my God! Please tell me. Give me your flashback.
I've never seen nobody thrown out of a comedy club so fast.
Good.
They grabbed him and threw him out the club. He was part of a bachelor party.
Okay.
So he was with like 20 guys.
Ooh.
They put him in a limousine that was waiting out
Oh, his
front.
friends put him out?
No, the management
The bouncer?
put him out.
Okay.
But his friends came up to me after the show, apologized. Oh man, we're sorry. He was drunk, all that sort of stuff. And they were very sorry about it. And but when you got alcohol in your system, you say what's really on your mind,
I've never been called the N-word to my face, but I have been walking and had a car full of white people drive by and yell it out the window.
I've had that before.
I've had about four of those word incidences, and one ended up with a kid in a headlock on the floor, and I feel bad for him because he shouldn't have did what I told him. I was young, when you're young, when you're 16, 15, you do.
I don't think it's valid when somebody call you that.
Well, I told him to bend down, and he did, so I socked him.
Who's the lady that said she was called a nigger by a group of white boys? I can't think of her name. Her name's on the tip of my tongue. And she kept walking, and her friend was walking with her. Says, "How come you didn't respond?" She goes,
"He said, one time to me,
right?
Because nigger. That's why I didn't respond."
Right.
Did you find that clip of that girl who whooped him?
Maya Angelou?
No.
Hammer? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nope, that makes sense, Kevin. And normally in today's world, I definitely wouldn't respond at all. But I was a young kid. I was foster care. I had so many other issues going on that's why I responded. And it was really the only reason why, because I've been called it before, and I did like that. I was like, whatever. But that particular, I had to, because they would purposely showing off in front of all of his male white friends, coming down the big, the major wing that you have in high school or middle school that everybody has to come across to get to the lunchroom. That was me. And I was the only black kid coming. And it was like, I don't know, 5 on this side, 5 on this side. And he wanted to embarrass me. So he did it. He completed his goal. And I wanted to embarrass him back. So I completed my goal. So he's just walked by and he says, and so I looked back and I tried to make a joke of it. I said, oh, he's talking to you. I told one of his friends and they started laughing and said, yo, and one of my friends who knows me, one of my white friends who knows me was like, oh, did she just say, why did he say that? He knew right away. He was like, why did you, dude, you might want to apologize. F her. I'm not going to say it. I'll say it again. I said, really? I said, come here. And I was already 5'9", and he was shorter than me. And I said, come here. And he came over. So I hate to say it, but I had to do what I had to do because guess what? He ain't never called me again.
Let me say this. What's the right now, panel? Let me say this because I'm thinking about this cotton thing again. I'm in my mid-50s, so when I was in school, a white kid wouldn't have had the balls to do anything like that. No. You know what I'm saying? A white kid in my school, and I went to a diverse school. Mm-hmm. A white kid in my school would have never, not even in his dreams, threw cotton. And
well, that kid also knew he was in a safe place, pretty much, because he had all those other white folks around him. So he had that brought up his balls.
But like Tanya said, that was totally set up.
Oh, it was set up.
The camera was ready.
Wanted him out.
The camera was ready.
Cameras are always ready nowadays too.
The faculty was
ready. Which,
well, think about this. If they were trying to suspend him, I'm thinking, who knows? Maybe even the principal. I mean, because sometimes you don't know what circumstances someone's in there on. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're on scholarship, whether they're paying, whatever. A lot of times people are threatened. I went to private school. I purposely got kicked out twice because I was like the only I found out I wasn't the only black kid. There was another girl who was mixed. And then there was my other friend was there, but because I had to catch up, I was in my own special world class, I guess you want to call it. So that's why I didn't know till after the fact, but that's another story. But I felt like, and no one did anything to me, but I felt weird because I had come from Brooklyn. To be in Bedford is like weird at that age. When you're 7 years old, 8 years old, it's like, oh, why am I the only one here? So it was awkward. And I just said,
so TW says he would only fight if someone touched him. Otherwise, he would just tell the person to F off.
Right.
He's talking about, the N-word.
Right.
But that is smart.
Right. Today I would.
But
self-control.
When you see stuff like this right here.
Here's a picture from 1964. A white motel manager is throwing acid in a pool because he doesn't want black people in his pool. I'll give you $50 if you can show me black people doing this to white people because they're white or anything close to this.
Wow.
You need to put up that clip of that woman, that girl getting her butt whooped because she called the black woman a nigger. Oh. That's what you need to show because that was classic.
That was classic. That was a classic. What'd you say?
Oh yeah, she beat that girl.
And what about the guy in the
order out the restaurant?
What was the name of that restaurant? What was the name of the place I told y'all about? The man called the guy the N-word, and he said, "Oh no, not today." He said, "You got the wrong one today. I'm ready to go to jail today." He was not joking because sometimes that's the thing people need to understand when they're saying that word. Is like, yeah, you can say it, and to me or to Kevin, it might be like, "Oh, who cares? I'm not one. I don't care," and that's great. That's a great response from us, right? But you got one person who might have mental illness. You might have one depressed, right? I might be depressed, going through my own stuff already. And now you're gonna roll that on me. You're gonna catch it. You're gonna catch something. If you hit the wrong person and the wrong button at the wrong time, guess what? The elevator is coming. So
okay, why do I have on 2 sets of glasses?
Oh geez, you Stevie Wonder and Ray Charles.
Damn.
Happy birthday to you. Remix. Exactly. Yeah. Well,
there you go.
Y'all are so bad. I can't. Well, here's the lesson with the cotton. So I think that
You're
for Black parents, stop sending your kids to schools where they're the only ones, like it's some special prize or something. Because that's, first of all, it's traumatizing. They never forget it. It stays with them forever. And yeah, while you could say, well, they have the best education from such and such private school, it doesn't matter if they're psychologically traumatized, or worse, they become the type of Black person that co-signs. So the next Black kid that goes to that school will be like, yeah, oh, he was whipping me, and laughing, making everybody think that that's okay. And it's not okay. And that's why people like that have to be checked immediately. Their parents got to be checked. The kid got to be checked. The principal got to be checked. Everybody check the boxes. And the parent who send them to school, like, please get them some psychological help, because I'd be damaged after that. I'm just saying. That's the lesson.
All right. I was looking for that video Pam told me about.
Oh, just trying to find it?
Yeah.
I know. Oh, it's great.
Sorry.
We'll have it for next week. I'll find it.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll have it for the next show.
It's a great
And do we have time for that?
Pam thoroughly enjoyed that video.
Yes.
I watched it again and again. I was like,
you did? Shame on you.
I did. And I don't normally watch them. I get very upset. But that
me
one,
too. Right. But that was like, oh, okay. So there was a consequence.
I was just trying to see, because at one point it seemed as though the girl's hair was coming out from the root.
Yeah. Oh,
I saw that video.
I did that. I hate to say it, but I'm guilty. When I was like 9 years old, when I was like just fresh here off the block into foster care. What do you want from me? And this girl on the bus, she decided to show herself, and I was like, okay. So in front of all the kids, I don't know why I have this thing with people trying to embarrass me. I was like, you really? Because you're about to get embarrassed. That's what's going to happen. She called me the N-word and told me my house was dirty. Had never been in my house, by the way. And other kids who have been in my house, like, her house, her mother does a white glove test. Are you kidding? And all I can say is she had long hair down to her butt. And when I finished with her, probably was to her ears, because it was just horrible. It was horrible. But I, I was young and dumb. When you're 8 years old, 9 years old, you don't know any better.
All right. So let me satisfy Pam for the night.
I know this nigga gonna knock my head off. Break that dick, bitch, but break that dick, bitch, but break that dick, bitch, but.
I don't remember. I didn't know the one, but it's okay. Scare me. Oh, I didn't remember that one.
Yeah. Listen, what white people need to understand is we are full of rage from all the racist bullshit we deal with.
Not just white people. There's some people of other nationalities that call us. I got my Latino neighbor that's in the corner here. He called I watched him call my other neighbor a nigger. And I was like, did you? Wait.
I'm saying right, anybody, but it's usually white people who think they can,
Oh, I got some other cultures.
Or they can tell you one Black joke and they say, why is he getting so mad? It's just one joke. You know how many?
I got other people.
You know how many?
Get jokes all the time at our shows from drunk white people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't joke around me. I'll tell you right now. Nope.
People always think that they're telling you the very first Black joke.
Nope. I stop them right dead in the tracks.
Yeah, but people still do it.
They can do all they want, but when I'm around, I guarantee I'll out-talk you in 5 seconds. Nope.
No, Tanya, if you do a show and a white person comes up to you and goes, how come Black people here don't move on the back of a motorcycle?
Nope. As soon as they said the word Black, I'll be like,
Tanya, it's not going to go. I'm telling you, it's going to happen. They come up to you and this shit. It does happen.
I mean,
all I can tell you is the guy tried to do it on the stage and called. Remember, I told you what he did to me.
You can't stop it. I mean, he thought it was so funny. Like, why don't Black people here move on the back of a motorcycle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because one thing you don't do when you're at a comedy club, Tanya, because for example, if you're the headliner that evening after the show, and people coming up to you after the show, you're gonna get people that's drunk. People coming up, they're taking pictures with you, shaking your hand, they're buying your merchandise, or whatever it may be. Right. But you're gonna get that one drunk guy. He was so drunk, he telling me all these racist jokes, and his wife was turning redder and redder by the moment, because she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he is saying this," because she knew he was drunk and she's trying to pull him away. She's embarrassed. I mean, so what do I do at that point? Do I say, "Hey, shut the fuck up"?
Well, you're the headliner, so you don't have to. You got to do a lot of different things.
Move on, because you have to also remember that you're representing yourself and the club that you're working for.
Yeah.
And you got other people that's probably lying, waiting to take your picture or shake your hand or buy your T-shirt or whatever the case may be, you know. So
Yeah.
you don't start a ruckus.
You can't come up. No, you can't.
You know, like the guy that called said, "Got a nigga on your shirt." When I was wearing Richard Pryor shirt on stage, I was in front of 400 people that night, you know, at a comedy club. I mean, what am I supposed to do? At that point, I'm just they took him out. The crowd was on my side. There was another show. So after the show, everybody was apologizing to me, you know, his friends, people who weren't with him were apologizing.
Right.
You know, the management took care of it. You know, life goes on. You can't stoop to that level, you know.
The fight was at Little Caesars.
At Little Caesars. Okay, I mean, Tanya, you could, but I'm telling you, even though you're in the right, your gigs would dry up.
Oh well, yeah, but that's the thing, and that depends on how much you value those. So if you got to pay your rent, then you're gonna do what you got to do. But when that guy got on stage and told me that he saw Planet of the Apes, in Pleasantville, he told me he saw Planet of the Apes and he's gonna rename it Planet of the Black People. I bet you he didn't finish his set.
Yeah, but that was like
a word out.
That was like an open mic thing.
Exactly, and that is a different scenario. So you're right, and I'm not gonna just sabotage myself, but there's some things you're just not gonna do, and I'm willing to give up my whole career for it. That's how serious I am about it. So it depends on what we're talking about, but you can't tell me my people are apes and I'm gonna sit there. That ain't gonna happen.
But I'm telling you, and I'm sure Kevin can tell you, when you're in that moment, when you just get off stage and you had a hot set and people taking pictures and you know and saying stuff, and then this one person comes up, you're not it's almost like you hear it and it just comes, and what do? You kind of smile and you chuckle because you don't want to lose that momentum and turn into this ugly. You don't want this thing to turn ugly. You can't let, as they say, one monkey shouldn't ruin the whole show.
Yeah, you have to move on. You have to play it off.
Yeah,
of course you burn up inside, but you play it off, and you know when you got this drunk guy. I told you I got called the N-word at a show up in Utica, New York. And I just got a stand ovation and still had a drunk lady come up and call me, bought me a beer, and I don't even drink, bought me a beer and dropped the N-word in the same freaking gesture, handed me a beer.
I hope you didn't drink it.
No, I don't drink.
Oh, good. Smart guy, because I was like, she might have did something to it.
Told me I was a funny nigger. And white comics.
Maybe in her head she was black.
The two white comics that were opening up my show, their mouths just dropped to the floor. They couldn't believe that she said that. And they were in a state of shock because my two open acts were white boys, and they were in a state of shock. They couldn't even believe that she did that, you know. And, but what was I supposed to do? Cuss her out in the middle, you know, after a show, and you know, everybody standing around.
I would have said, "Yo, you're a funny nigga too."
I just, you know, I went on. I told the booker, you know, he was very upset about it, you know. But you know, life goes on, you know.
Yeah, that's it. You gotta do what you gotta do. That's it.
Yeah, like the white dude that said to me, "Hey, how come black people can't fly?" You know, when you hear that, you know what's coming.
Yeah.
You know, because their lips pop at 10,000 feet.
Oh, I would have been sorry. I would have been popping. I would have been popping a lot of things besides that. No, yeah. Some things are just I can't religion on.
You heard that one before? Yeah.
There are tons of them, man. They white have all these racist jokes, and they must tell.
And that's not funny. It's not even like they're funny. They're just meant to.
I've heard people try to start to tell me some, but they never got past. Black, BLAC, and they didn't even get the K fully out before I was telling them. And they were like, and no, I was not the most popular person in the room, and I probably could have got thrown out of the room. But guess what? You didn't finish what you were going to say, was you?
Yeah.
That's just me. I just think everybody needs to be held accountable. So it's okay to say anything you want to say, as long as you don't mind walking around with your consequences. That's all.
Which goes back to what we were saying about should you hit some person because of what they said?
No, but there's certain circumstances where I'm not going to hit you, but you definitely ain't going to still be able to say what you're going to say. And I can do that.
I mean, listen, when these people are drunk, other than putting your hands on their mouth or doing something.
Well, that's different. You got gigs. Come on. I mean, you don't mess up your money. I ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna put myself in that.
Because you had to realize, Tanya, that 90%, I won't say 90%, I was probably 80% of the people that we perform in front of, if you do the mainstream circuit, a lot of these people are, I work a lot in the South, you know. These people are racist.
You love being down there with them.
I just left Trump country, man. I was just in South Carolina performing last week. Actually, the guy that went on before me, he's where's he from? I forgot where he's from, but he was like, any Trump supporters here tonight? And the whole crowd goes,
Yeah, they're the best crowd. I'll tell you that. They really know how to pump it up. Yeah,
oh, they love me.
They're
great.
awesome.
They were a great crowd. They love the laugh and they spend money afterwards.
Yeah.
But
I have to say that kind of crowd is my kind of crowd.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they don't judge, you know what I mean? They don't judge.
You know, to have fun.
Yeah, they come out to have fun, you know, and they don't, like, if you do anything that has a tinge of ethnicity or anything, they don't go, ooh, you know, the liberal crowds, I am not, you know what I mean? I'm not big with the liberal crowds because you can hear them listening and thinking about whether or not they should laugh.
In a comedy club.
Yes. You know, they're listening and they're thinking, should we laugh at this? Whereas the Trump and the Republican crowds, they just hear something funny and they just laugh and
they go for it.
And it keeps going and keeps going, and you know, and that's why, you know, many comedians refuse to do colleges and stuff. But we talked about that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, TW says the alcohol often tells on them. I had a neighbor when I was growing up and she was nearly 100. She had Alzheimer's. She saw imaginary blacks, N-words. She saw imaginary niggas in her trees and was hosing them down.
Oh my God. I got called by somebody who had like a form of dementia. I was only 17 and I was training to be a nurse. I didn't make it. I only made it to health assistant. I didn't make it to LP and RN. But long story short, she thought that she was back in the old times. And she was like, oh, so you want to bring me some? I was like, is that how you talk? And I said to her, is that how you talk to your help? And she's like, well, just bring me the item over there. Or however she was Southern. I was like, oh, girl, no. We can't do that. So it was funny because she was so cute that I just had to just laugh because I was like, she got a pass because, you know, dementia is a real thing. And back then we didn't know what that was. I don't think it was as prevalent as it is now.
Yeah. All right, Pam, I got that, but I couldn't pull it up.
Yeah, I know. It's not, yeah, it was a news clip and don't worry about it. But unfortunately, the black girl got arrested and there's the woman suing Caesars.
Of course.
It'll be interesting to see what the outcome will be.
Yeah. I could tell her what to say to reverse those charges real quick. What about Ukraine?
Yeah, we're going to talk. Well, obviously, Ukraine. Ukrainians are in America. They're coming to America. They're being people are sponsoring Ukraine families or individual Ukraine women, and I think the government is going to be paying people to host these families.
But they don't give nobody welfare, but they'll pay for somebody else.
Yes. And so far, America has given. They just approved 33 billion more for Ukraine. They gave them 13 billion. They gave them 200 million in military aid, another few hundred million in military aid. And as I said on the Facebook post, but we have no money for reparations. We have no money for the poor in this country.
People who still ain't working because of the pandemic, they're trying to act like it's gone.
But for some reason, you know, but we know why Ukraine is being, and we're not going to sugarcoat it, it's because they are white with blue eyes, so the people look like them.
Yes, and they want to increase the amount of white Americans in America, I think.
Yes. So here's an English lady. She explains it well. Same thing going on in Britain.
So apparently, nearly 100,000 people in the UK have now signed up to take in a Ukrainian refugee. And apparently the idea is you have to have them in your home for a minimum of 6 months, but these refugees or immigrants, or however you like to refer to this situation, are allowed to work and stuff in the UK. So the benefits of the £350 go to the person taking them in. It's not to sustain the refugee. 100,000 from a country who historically hate immigration. I ask you, how many of them 100,000 people that signed up for this scheme would do it if the refugees were coming from Syria, Iraq, Somalia, anywhere where there are brown people? Think about it. And think about our government, especially the Tory party, historically well against immigration. Why are they suddenly doing a full U-turn and opening our borders to the Ukrainians? There is a bigger agenda here. And if you're not waking up to that and asking fucking questions, you are an idiot at this point. The fact of the matter is, the media and the government are trying to train your brain. They are trying to condition you and socialise you into viewing our black brothers and sisters as lesser beings. They are trying to make them below you. The fact that they're turning around on their immigration stance to let predominantly white Ukrainians into the country, but would never have done this for any other race that are fleeing from war, tells me everything I need to know. And the fact that the people in the UK and probably other countries can't see that fucking worries me. That goes to show how programmed people are. This country is racist. At this point, I'll stand by what I said in my previous video, which has had like over 3,000 shares at this point, because that many people resonated with what I said. If you have turned around on your stance about immigration and opening our borders, you're a fucking racist. You're only doing it because Ukrainians are predominantly white people. You didn't give a shit when it was Afghan people or people from Palestine or Syria and all these other countries that are still in war, still fleeing, sending their children to die in boats, drowning because we won't let them in. If we've managed to do this U-turn for white people, we need to do this U-turn for people of colour too. Write to your government, write to your MPs, make a video, speak up about it. We need to do something about this because this is fucking systemic racism at work.
Well, that's a mic drop.
Mic drop.
You know, I mean, everyone knows it. You know, it's pretty obvious. You've seen the way the reporters cover it.
Yeah.
On the news. I mean, when they talk, you can tell. You know, there's a lump in their throat. They feel. They can feel.
What about what they say? The channel, I forgot what channel it was. Oh man, that was from the
One reporter was saying these are civilized people.
Yeah, they're civilized, and you know, I didn't expect that of like Europeans and like blonde hair and blue eyes and look, they look like you and me. Like I don't understand. Like I was like, well, what do you understand? Like,
but why aren't black celebrities? Why aren't we helping ourselves? Why are we expecting? We know who they are. You know, we know what they're going to do, and they're
this is a different case because we can't just take in Somalis and because we can't. We would like to. I was trying to get something started and say, what about if we wanted to take someone's child from a war and help raise them and give them back whenever they want them or however we want to do it, just something to help. And someone said, oh, they can't do that because the government has to say that they can get here.
State Department, yeah, you have to get permission from the state.
They won't even do it. In Haiti, after that flood, what happened in Haiti? Something happened recent, right? And
the earthquake, they had,
nobody said nothing about it. Nothing. They sent them back, actually, didn't they? At the border, remember at the border with the horses and whipping, and it's crazy.
One day we have to go home.
Let me read. TW is correcting me. Thank you for correcting. He said, "Carl, let me clear one thing up. I never said I was against interracial. I'm sorry. I'm not reading this angry. You know, people always do that. They send a text, and the person that's reading it reads it angry. So I'm not reading your message angry. I'm just reading it because people do it to me. I did it to Pam. Pam did it to me. Pam read my message. So like, what the fuck is wrong with you? She didn't say that. I just
break two, boy.
Isn't that funny? Like, you write a message and when you write it, you have no ill will or feelings, but the person on the other end So TW, I'm just saying this. I'm not reading your message angry. I'm reading it nice and calm. Carl, let me clear one thing up. There's no exclamation point, so he's calm. I never said I was against interracial marriage. I said that under the global system of white supremacy / racism, I am against mixed marriage. How do you interpret?
Wait, what? Wait, read that again.
Interracial marriage and mixed marriage.
All right, and let me read it again. I'm reading it exactly as TW wrote it.
Okay.
Carl, let me clear one thing up. I never said I was against interracial marriage. I said that under the global system of white supremacy / racism, I am against mixed marriage. That makes sense?
No, it don't make sense.
I think what he's saying, he's not against. He's not against.
There it is.
People
Right
of different races being married. It's just that under the current system, that's what he's against.
It's right. Can you read it?
Right.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought.
Carl, let me clear one thing up. I never said I was against interracial marriage. I said that under the global system of white supremacy and racism, I am against mixed marriage.
Okay, so that makes sense.
So in other words, if white supremacy was not in place, he would not have a problem with mixed marriage. But because we have it, he is.
Okay.
And
I think that's what he's saying.
That makes sense. It makes more sense that way.
Mixed marriage is the same as interracial marriage.
Interracial marriage, right. So yeah, you just use two different terminologies instead of keeping it consistent.
All right, brother, we got you.
Thank you. Thank you, TW.
You just don't like honkies.
Don't say that.
So is that so let's say, for example, one of us married to an Asian person or Hispanic or
we got you.
Would that be a problem? I'm just curious.
If like Dave Chappelle is married to an Asian woman, right?
I don't care.
Filipino.
So is Eddie Griffin. Eddie Griffin married to an Asian
Yeah,
woman.
I give up at this point. I'd say, like, do you, whatever makes you happy. I had one once way back in the day. So do you, whatever makes you happy. I don't care. I just don't come for me for anything. That's all I have to say. You know, that's all. As long as you don't come for me, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Love is love. If it's love, my thing is this: if it's love, right? I don't care what you do. And because I feel like I'm not missing anything. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. You know, they say, "Oh, black women get angry," when I said, "No, I don't get angry. I could care less."
So my question is, if you are single and you're out there and you meet somebody that's not of your race and you're vibing and everything is going great, shall you stop and go, "Oh my God, I can't. They're not of my race," and just end it?
I don't think I would do that just because I like having a conversation with people. So if I'm enjoying the conversation,
I mean like should you
change your mind?
I don't mean stop talking though. Like I mean like eventually.
But you don't allow it to go any further,
right?
No, I'm not that hard body about it because to me that's just stupid. Suppose I'm just not a good friend.
If it seems like it could be I'm talking about it seemed like it could be a potential relationship. If this person were of the same race as you, man, this could be great.
Mm-hmm.
But
it goes to attraction as well. Like, are you really attracted? I have had many conversations with white men.
Everything is great, Pam, but they're just not of the same race. Should you stop? You know what I mean? In your head, I don't mean like stop mid, like you're having dinner.
I know what
I
you
don't
mean.
mean like you drop the fork and say, "Listen, I can't talk to you anymore."
No.
Some people would,
My
but
point is,
because that to me that
I have never been that attracted. Okay, so remember we had this conversation about noses, right? I think Matthew McConaughey is fine.
He is super fine. His nose. Yeah.
So if he were talking to me, we were vibing and stuff, I would say I take it for as long, go for the ride.
Right.
But
no pun intended.
Generally speaking, I'm not what?
Go for the ride. You don't say go for the ride with two guys on
go for the ride.
Right, but keep going.
Hey, I'm down for it. But generally speaking, I am not attracted to white men.
Okay.
Right. So
I don't see them as a attractive.
Well, it depends on who it is, and my
Right.
preference is just to go with what's easy, that I don't have to worry about. Is their mom gonna like me? Is their dad gonna? I don't have to worry about those things because I do find too. There's a whole bunch of elements that go with it. Depending on who it is, it could be really just too much stuff, and I don't need all that stuff.
All
So
the
for me,
baggage.
it's easier. And my eye attracts to brown, but I'm not gonna say here and say absolutely no way in heck.
Never say never.
Never say never, because I've been there before, as we know. I've dipped in the vanilla coffee.
I think we all have.
I've dipped in the vanilla, but so I wouldn't
When you
say
see a plate of cream.
I wouldn't say that. That's why I don't get mad if someone's interracial dating. Good for you. Whatever works for you. I don't care.
All right,
You know?
this is from TW regarding white
Yes, he's right.
If you understand white supremacy and how it works,
Yes.
you are entering a less than ideal union.
I agree.
But you know what?
It depends on. I mean, okay.
You can say that for black on black marriage too.
Right, exactly. And that's what I'm gonna say.
You
It
know?
really depends, because I didn't feel like I was in less or whatever, with one person. So I didn't feel
You've
that.
got a lot against you because you've got society, a lot of people on both sides that are going to be against you for one reason or another, and some biases.
Yeah. Well, this person grew up. I mean, they grew up in Brooklyn. They grew up around. Around my people. So I didn't feel like I was. It was weird. It was different. It was very unusual circumstance. Put it that way. And that was why it was okay, because I didn't have to explain myself. I don't got to justify. I don't got to clarify. This is who I am, and that's it. Period.
All right. So TW admitted to having some interracial relationship. He said, he put it this way: I have had my fun in the past, but I was not informed.
Yes.
I think when you say never, you have to be very careful about absolutes. I say that all the time in the way I speak. I try not to be absolute, because that's not how life works.
I get what he's saying. I absolutely get what he's saying. We all get what he's saying.
Intellectually, yes, you understand that there are going to be a lot of obstacles. There's a lot of hardship. There might be a lot of unknowns on both sides that can make it difficult. However, there are some interracial marriages that are exceptionally well balanced. There's some that do very well. Everybody's got strife. It just, so like Tanya said, do whatever. Hopefully you're both living your truths, and if that blends well,
yes,
God bless.
As long as there's not no experimental thing.
I gotta go.
Do you?
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. So we're gonna Tanya, I'm gonna start with you. What did you learn, or what would you like? Any information you would like to divulge? Or did you learn it?
No, just Republicans, ease off of Mrs. Brown. Ease off, okay? Just ease off, okay? Slow your roll, okay? She's overqualified, and there is nothing you can actually ask her. Even if I didn't personally like somebody, you can't mess with their credentials. So that's number one. Just stop all the buffoonery. That's what I call it. And then as far as the kid with the cotton ball, I told you about that already. Parents, stop putting your kids in these dangerous situations. Stop putting them in situations where this stuff has to happen, and it's been happening a lot. Because you're just mentally damaging them and making them insecure about themselves. I knew one kid who told me they used to call him Blackie, his white friends and his black friends, and I was like, "You let them call you that?" He was like, "Well, what am I going to do?" "What you going to think you're going to do? You're going to tell them, I don't think so." That's what you're going to see. You're going to say, call them something that makes them just as shook as what they're calling you. But they, the person just grew up with a horrible thinking about himself. You know what I'm saying? Because mom and everybody didn't stop it. You got to stop this. It's up to us, parents and school administrators, or wherever we're at in these situations. It's up to us, not to the kid. He's trying to just go and get his education. Who wants, to be, I just think it's traumatizing. And as far as Ukraine, that's fine. I just have a problem with, I'm not saying, when it comes to babies, I'm always sympathetic, empathetic, whatever. But I'm just saying, like, really, Biden, you guys keep just slapping us in the face. No student loan forgiveness. No, let's help the Haitians out who had a catastrophe going on. No, nothing. Like, really? We just get stomped on. And I'm kind of tired of it, quite frankly. So when it's time for voting time, be on the lookout because not everybody's gonna be thinking like they usually think. That's number one.
All
So
right.
that's it.
Pam, did you learn anything, or would you like to share any information with our audience?
In watching the hearings, it really struck me for some reason. It seems like the first time it really hit home to me that, the Senate is just another theatrical stage. It's amazing how, they get so, they start to clutch their pearls at oh my goodness, that whole thing it's just a stage. It's just a front. Miss Lindsay wore out and throws a little temper tantrum. It's just ridiculous. Like I said, say never. I'm hoping that she goes through with the least amount of delay, and we can hopefully count on getting at least another one in before Biden leaves. Ukraine is Ukraine. I think right now I'm just very indifferent to what's going on because of the way they are treating, they're showing their slip is showing. Let's put it that way.
Yep. African students.
All right, Kev. Okay, information man. He had said something earlier. He said he's never surprised at what white people do. He's never, and I'm with you on that. There's nothing that can be done that would shock me.
Yep, me neither.
I am honestly, and I'm with you on that, brother. He also said, I believe the Democrats are going to lose the Congress and the state Senate because they have done nothing for us.
That's right. I believe it because I'm gonna be the one changing my vote.
Yeah. What? When you say Democrats have done nothing for us, I know we're wrapping up the show. Like what do we want?
Oh, you know what we want. I ain't even gotta repeat it. Come on.
We'll discuss it next week.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I mean,
that's a good one.
I mean, everybody on throughout the Democrats have done nothing but
nothing
specifics that we never
Except
get.
Slap us in the face.
I'm gonna bring some receipts next week because I disagree 100% with that statement. So I'll bring receipts.
Good.
Okay. So next week, we're going to talk about.
Join us next week. I'll bring some receipts.
Receipts. He's bringing receipts next week, y'all.
Oh, you
Let's
better
talk
believe
about
it.
All right, I got Kitty Corner. What's up, Kitty? Kitty's a fellow Barbadian Bajan. Kitty said they have done absolutely nothing for us.
That's right.
Okay.
And somebody come on the show next week. Make sure y'all give Carl your email so you can come on the show and tell your receipts.
I'll bring receipts.
Your receipts. I want to see all the receipts. $2.99.
Right. Somebody's asking about Desi. Desi decided to take a break from the show. Hopefully, he's going to come back. We miss him. We miss him a lot.
I mean, Pam, I got to go to. Hey,
I'm sorry.
I learned that. No,
oh, there you are.
I just want to say real quick because I got to go. I just want to say real quick.
All right, go ahead.
How brilliant as a people in the world, and that's so they see how smart and amazing, talented he is, and how educated she is. And they know what people know what. So we're always our brilliance is always on display for America to see, and everybody knows it too.
Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta go.
All right.
Go ahead. Bye.
All right. So thanks to everyone for watching, and Information Man.
Man's here.
Yeah, I know I was in the car driving and I was having some other issues going on. I just wanted to mention the video that you played with the kid that threw the cotton and attacked. Someone had made the statement that white people almost do these sort of things like an innocent child. Whenever black people do something, have you ever heard anyone say that we're innocent in what we do? They simply criminalize us. So I think we have to be very mindful of when we use words that sort of, it's like the term white lie. When white people do something negative, it's called a white lie, or they try to minimize it. It is obvious that kid is, America is culturally conditioned. The kid is culturally conditioned. He's learning this at home. How did he know that cotton, and then pulling out a belt would be a triggering point. He basically was sending the message that you are a slave, I'm your master, and I can have my way with you. And you're right, they set him up. And we have black kids across this country that are being attacked in these type of schools. And I don't understand why I understand why we send them to these schools, because we think, quote unquote, that they're going to get a better education. But how can you get a better education when your child is being sent into behind enemy lines? And it's just a shame. But I'm gonna drop down because I know you're about to end the show, and hopefully I can come on next time earlier in the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I am looking forward to seeing what Brother Lee's receipts are, because when I say that the Democrats haven't done anything for us, I'm talking about tangibles. See, what black people tend to get is what I call trickle-down politics. They'll say, if we do this for this group, it's going to get to black people too. This is the same thing that Kamala Harris said. Joe Biden's doing the same thing. When they did what they did for the Asians, they turn around and say, well, it's going to trickle down to y'all too. Of course, we just now got an anti-lynching bill that should have been passed decades ago. Right. But I'm prepared to accept whatever data the brother has. But I'm more specific on what have they done for us lately, and it has to be, in my opinion, tangible. Like, how does it directly affect us right now versus some trickle-down bullshit? Have a great evening, everybody.
All right, brother. Thanks for checking in, man.
All right, peace.
A week, man. All right.
All right.
I can't wait for next week's show, Kevin.
We already have the topic for next week.
I know, that's it. The trickle down bullshit.
Kevin, the name of the show is going to be Kevin and his receipts.
That's it. Kevin, I'm actually going to do that.
It's going to be fire.
Yeah.
Kevin,
people want to know.
Kevin's going to bring it. He's going to bring it.
People are saying they have done nothing for us.
All right. I'll bring my receipts. I'll be there.
All right, everyone. Thanks to everyone for checking in. Truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know Kevin has to go. And please check us out on YouTube. Please like, share, hit the notification bell just to get notified. And with that said, we love you. Thank you for checking in. And thanks to TW for checking in, Red Squid, Patricia Felix, thanks for checking in, Donna Haygood, Sophia Collimore, my friend from Barbados, Gina Fiore. I missed a few people. I missed quite a few people, but Michelle Henderson. Huh?
No grandma?
I don't see Grandma Haley. No, I don't see Grandma.
Get that.
I don't see her at all.
Oh man, just because I sent the
all
thing
right.
out.
Thanks, TW. Thanks for the great comments, and thanks for being interactive with us. We love it. We love it.
Yes.
We love it.
And the young lady who was the Republican, we appreciate you too.
Yes.
Yep, we appreciate you.
Yes.
Why you got something in your throat, Carl?
See you next week. I see all y'all.
On with a little Republican love.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Here we go.